Now, Ravens fans out there, you may remember a big touchdown catch by my next guest, Daniel Wilcox, last year against the Eagles late in the season. I know you guys remember that. You love your Ravens. Daniel, he's a free agent now, looking for maybe getting a job. We're waiting to see what was going on with training camp, but also getting ready to host a football camp. So join me right now as I go one-on-one with free agent tight end Daniel Wilcox. All right, Daniel, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you coming on Washington Post Live. Here to talk a little bit of football, talk about a little bit of football camp you have going on a little bit later this summer in Baltimore, also down in Atlanta. First question is, I'm sure Ravens fans want to know about your plans for the upcoming season. Right now you're available, free agent. You have your agent working on it. What's the latest for you, man?
Well, right now, Ivan, my agent just told me to, hold off, just be patient. Free agency is really slow this year. The recession got everybody messed up, I guess. So right now, my agent is telling me just be patient, and I'll definitely be on somebody's team by training camp. So I'm just waiting patiently, twiddling my thumbs.
Has there been how many off seasons? Because you spent 5 years with the Ravens, a year and a half with the Jets, the Bucks. How many of the off seasons were you waiting for a job, or were you already lined up doing OTAs ready to go? Have you ever been in this position before?
This is actually my first time being on the free agent market. I've been last time I was sitting at home, because I got cut, and it felt like nobody wanted me. You know what I'm saying? I sit at home a whole year. I end up going overseas to Germany to play, but this is actually my first time hitting the free agent market. Last time the Ravens snagged me before I actually went onto the market, and it sucks right now, I gotta admit.
What's it like? You look at the phone and it rings, you're like, what's that?
Well, it was like that. It was like that early, especially like that first night. It comes around at 12 o'clock, midnight. It's like waiting for Santa Claus to drop off those gifts. And, a couple of teams started calling early, man, so I'm thinking I'm going to get signed any moment now, any hour. And then it just started to get slower and slower and fall back farther and farther. And then next thing you know, I'm still sitting here.
Now, how's the toe? I know you had to have the toe surgery. You're dealing with it. Is it coming along to the point where you feel like you do need to do what you need to do?
Absolutely, Ivan. I've been working all off season, man. I've been trying to stay off it as much as I can because I want to save it for the actual season. So I've been riding a bike. Most of my off season workout been on a bicycle. Been doing a lot of little riding around the Baltimore City area and just having a good time, man. Spending time with the wife.
Talk about last year with the Ravens. It was interesting because I got to admit, I would come on this show before in my previous life as a guest, and I thought the Ravens may really struggle offensively. You're looking at Joe Flacco, the young quarterback, lots of issues in the offensive line. They had playmaking and receiver. Boom, you guys had a great season. Looks like Joe Flacco is a real deal. You saw him up close. What are your thoughts on the guy? I'm
absolutely impressed with Joe Flacco. I mean, I honestly didn't know what to expect coming into the season. He lost his national championship game the year before to Appalachian State.
Your alma mater.
Yeah. So I really didn't know what to expect from the guy. He came in, seemed to be really humble, which I loved about him, and soft-spoken guy. When it came time for him to take over the team, he just stepped up and did exactly what he had to do. Cam Cameron, I think, handled everything really smart. He didn't try to throw the kid into the fire really early. He just took his time, gave him a little bit here, a little bit more there, a little bit more here, and eventually he just blossomed into a great quarterback, man. This kid, I think he's going to be around for a long time.
What's he like? Because when he does interviews, he seems kind of just like a real low-key, chill guy. Is he the same way in the huddle, same way around the locker room, everything?
He's not a man of many words.
Okay.
He don't sit down and you don't get a lot of talk from him. He doesn't give you a bunch of paragraphs at a time. He gets you 2 or 3 words in, and he kind of just sits back. He comes into the huddle and he say, listen up, guys. And he called the play, break the huddle, let's go play ball. And he's going to give you consistency every single time.
It's interesting because in that locker room there's so many strong personalities. It's probably a good thing. He doesn't need to say much.
Absolutely.
Let the other guys.
It's Ray Lewis's team. Let Ray do his thing. Let him beat his chest. Let him talk as much as he need to talk. He's going to get the guys motivated and amped up and ready to play. You don't need a Joe Flacco to do that for you in Baltimore. And the guys on the team know that. Joe knows that. He handles the offense. Ray handles the defense. And when it comes to a team unity thing, Ray got it.
Now, you've played for several coaches. John Harbaugh, how does he compare, contrast? What's his style like?
John Harbaugh. I played down in Tampa Bay with Gruden. Gruden is one of those rough exterior type guys. John don't come off as a rough guy at all. He comes off really soft-spoken, really kind-hearted, genuinely really good guy. But when it comes to football, he can be a butt. Like, he's serious about football. He's dead serious. He don't want no joking around, no playing, strictly business. And he gets out there and he gets the guys to perform, and we go out there and play for him.
Now, handicap it because it appears the AFC is pretty loaded. There's a bunch of teams in the mix. You know, the Ravens made a move last year. I would figure the Chargers are probably a little bit better than they showed last year, especially if they get Sean Marion back in there. You have the Colts, but they have a new coach. Tom Brady's back in New England. Miami had a good year. Handicap, is there a team you look at and you say they're the favorite, or is it kind of a toss-up?
You know, Ivan, I'm one of those guys that really optimistic when it comes to football in the NFL. Like, I would never gamble on an NFL football game. I feel like you'll lose your money every single time. I can't sit back and say this team is the favorite or that team is the favorite, because you never know. Every single year, like, the team that you least expect pops out of nowhere and they takes it all the way.
Arizona Cardinals.
Exactly, and it's crazy, man. And it's really all about who comes together as a family, who makes it feel like those high school days. You remember those high school days where you felt like it was family again? And you really need that family sense to it. If you don't get that family sense to it, you're just a regular team out there, and it's about dollars and money and who's making this and who's making that.
And of course, I failed to mention Steelers fans, the champs. We didn't want to leave you guys out. We just assumed you're going to be all right.
They are sensitive people.
They sent emails to.
They're really sensitive people.
Let me talk about something else you're doing real cool this summer. The Daniel Wilcox and Friends football camp. It's a free one-day football camp, June 20th. On a Saturday, it's a Saturday, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Registration starts at 8, starts at 9. Cardinal Gibbons High School in Baltimore. This is something you've been involved with for a few years. Talk a little bit about this camp and what you'd like to see.
You know what, Ivan, this camp has been going on for the last 4 or 5 years, man, and every year I feel like the camp is getting better. It's growing with the amount of kids that shows up. The amount of players that are coming out every year that share their life stories with the kids have been absolutely tremendous. I like to thank all my teammates. They always come out every year and support this cause. It's a free camp. It's an opportunity for me to give back to the community, give back to the kids, to give them something that I didn't have growing up. I never had an opportunity to go to a free football camp full of professional football players. They get a chance to hear something that I never got a chance to hear until I got to the NFL myself. You get to hear a bunch of testimony from NFL guys. They'll come in, they'll share their life experiences with you. And you also get a chance to learn technique and skills from NFL players. And not only that, we do a SAT prep course for the guys. Tag come out, and Tag does the video recording for all the high school kids. So the parents are really interested. You know, this is an opportunity for you to meet some people that could come in and videotape all your kids' high school games, put the highlight film together, and send them out to all the college coaches for you. So, I mean, we're just trying to give the kids just something, another step above from what they normally would get in high school.
And there's a lot of talent in that area, too.
There's a lot of talent.
There's some diamonds in the rough over there that just need a little bit of polishing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
A little bit of polishing.
Well, that's the Daniel Wilcox and Friends football camp, June 20th. Also, you're having one in Atlanta on July 11th. But down in business, we'll see what happens. I'm sure that phone's going to ring. We'll see what happens at training camp. Otherwise, come on here and be a football analyst. We'll talk football.
I would love to. I'll sit here with you any day.
My man. All right, Daniel Wilcox, folks. Appreciate you coming on.